That's weird. All right, guys, a couple weeks ago we had a Q&A and a couple things that came up that we want to address. One is, where's the F350? And I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to finish all of my old projects before we dive too deep into the new ones. And that includes our 93 LS1 SWAT Mercedes. Now, if you're new to the channel, this was my first gas LS swap. There's a couple leaks that we need to take care of, and we're gonna clean those up and then go over the whole project, because I want you guys to not run into the issues that I ran into. One of the other things that came up was, what would I do different? Well, we'll cover that in our LS swap. We've basically fixed all the things that I would do different. But one of the biggest things I would do different is take better care of my body. I've got arthritis in my right ankle. I can feel my back. And another thing is my hands. I've washed my hands 3 times now. You've just watched it. And probably a dozen times throughout the day. And they're still dirty. Why are we not wearing gloves? Might be, besides not feeling comfortable in gloves, I was always proud of these hands. I was proud that this symbolized that I was a hard worker and that these hands did something throughout the day that I could feel good about. If I had really nice clean hands, I could be a stockbroker or a super rich accountant or an unemployed guy living in mom's basement, and it's impossible to see the difference from your hands. This, I thought, was always attractive, saying, wow, that guy knows how to use his hands. But let's all be honest, guys, the girls don't want you touching them with this. Just being honest. And that comes from bad advice when I was first starting out, and that was my boss, who was a tractor mechanic, old school, saying, you know what, oil is good for your hands. I never have any cuts, or I have cuts but I never have any infections because the oil cleans it. It's not a bad thing. And when you're young and impressionable, that's what you learn. That's what you take in. Now, starting to talk with other friends like Scott, who says his hands are starting to tingle a little bit, and it's not a good feeling, and I'm starting to get that feeling now. So the reason I haven't been wearing gloves, or I don't wear gloves, is the nitro gloves. I can't wear them for longer than 5 minutes. I have the shop very cool in the winter and work more efficiently that way. In the summer, my hands get so wrinkly in about 5 minutes that I can't stand it anymore. The gloves rip, and it's extremely frustrating, to the point that I just don't try and wear them anymore. I wear them when I paint or when I'm washing in the Varsol bin, because that's only short little times, and in between each session of painting, I have to change my gloves. So getting back to how I'm gonna change that is Ansell Gloves actually reached out to us and noticed that we do a variety of different things, from bodywork to working with engine oil, working with welding, and just about everything in between, tire repairs. And they said, Rich, we see that you're doing a lot of work and you're not wearing gloves, and we kind of want to help you with that. So I'm going to try and wear the gloves as much as possible. I don't want this tingling. I want to keep working for long times, long periods of time. And if I'm already starting to feel back pain, I'm not even 40 yet, I've got arthritis in my ankle. Now, I'm still putting in long days, but it's longer when it hurts. We're gonna try and nip it in the butt and try to take care of it. So I said to Ansell, fine, but I hate gloves. What do you got for me? And this is what they sent. So different gloves for different applications. We've got tire gloves, welding sleeves. They've got nice impact gloves that are breathable on the back with some rubber on the inside, meant for high impact. And when that wrench slips, it's going to prevent all those little marks on my hand. So they've got even different styles of those. You can see like a medium cover. This one's even more flexible than this one, I think. This one's even thicker for even more abuse. And then we've got our mechanics gloves. So these actually breathe much better. These are like a cloth glove, and then are dipped in some oil resistant material. Both of these, I've been working with these. You've seen me wear them already. These, I do have to say, I can wear for much longer periods of time because they do breathe. So we've got ones with Velcro, ones without Velcro that slide on and off nice and easy. Now I've had lots of advice when I was younger growing up, and I'm trying to listen to them, and for some certain things I did. When I got out of the trucks, I stopped jumping out of the trucks. When you jump from 5 feet up onto the ground all the time, your knees take a beating. Sorry if you're laughing and you're like, I don't want to watch this stuff. I'm just telling you now from experience, this is what people told me and it's helped. But I've had some bad advice with hands and gloves and oil and the chemicals that we're using. Things were different 20 years ago. There's lots of pails that were not marked with chemicals. I went in and grabbed parts and my hands fell asleep because of some sort of dangerous chemical that was cleaning parts. And they laughed at me, right? In the shop, oh, idiot, and you did that, don't worry, a day or two later and it'll be fine. Well, take care of yourselves, guys. We don't live long enough to make all of the mistakes ourselves. We have to learn from the mistakes that other people make. So take my advice, take care of your bodies. I'm gonna try and do the same with the gloves, do that one next step. Now I'm not perfect. I'm still having trouble grabbing them all the time, but I'm going to try and use them as much as I possibly can. The nice thing about these gloves is that they are reusable. These are washable, use them over and over again. Switch gloves for the different tasks throughout the day to make sure that you got the right gloves for the right application. So other than this bar, that's about it. I think, hopefully the last time that I see this for a while, but it's easier when, looks easier when somebody else does it. Okay, so as for the gloves, I'm happy that they lasted the entire job. That's probably the best thing about them. Whereas the throwaway nitro gloves, I would have went through 20 pairs on this job. Every sharp little piece rips them and then they're just hanging off and they don't do anything. These are still protecting from the oil and actually protecting for a bit more. You can see I scuffed my hands here a couple times, and whereas those would have been cuts on my fingers or scraped skin, the glove takes the abuse. So these are the Active Armor gloves. If you guys want to try these out, they work great for this job. We'll put the link down below. We'll be using other gloves in different videos just for different applications, but these were a good fit for this oil repair. So yeah, a couple more weeks of wearing these and maybe my wife will let me hold her hand again.